And as far as mud racing at the Spring Nationals, there has been no shortage of thrills either. Two appropriately named vehicles, Think Fast in the near lane and the far lane, the Intruder. Well, that's what you call a hold-your-breath run for both Mike Jennings and Tom Marsh. Marsh gets into trouble around half-track and is pretty much along for the ride. He's fortunate to have gathered it up, though, just missing the JoJo blocks, which could have really done some damage to the Intruder. That's where he actually had to get back in the throttle and power out in the shutdown area. Now on this replay, watch Tom Marsh take out the far-in timing stand. He goes over the berm, across the nose of Jennings, and once he gets the car straightened out, he's back on the power. But it's a disqualification and a sigh of relief.
Tell me out there what happened, just as simple as that.
Well, I think I had a failure on a suspension part out there that caused it to pull to the right there. And once I got hooked on that wall, all I was concerned with was keeping it on its, wheels and getting out of the way of the other guy on the other side there, because I knew the run, I couldn't salvage anything with the run the way it was going.
Okay, were you in the gas or out of the gas?
I had to get back in it, or I would have been upside down for sure, and I possibly could have been, in a tangle with the other guy.
Now we're at the 93 Spring Nationals in Lima, Ohio, Class 6 paddle tires. Tony Farrell in the Blue Ribbon Bandit. He takes on the Instant T with Chad Miller. This is one you tell your grandkids about. You may not see this in another 20 years of watching motorsports. Watch the far lane. The Blue Ribbon Bandit becomes a victim of tire theft. Actually drives right out of his rear tire and wheel assembly. Tony would slide to a stop and watch the paddle tires go upstream. But a most impressive run nonetheless. 2.596, just 4/1000ths of a second off the national record. There go the tires. Could this be a classic example of blowing the tires off?
Yeah, I guess you'd call it. I knew something was wrong when I seen both tires passing.
Okay, what happened?
I don't know. It looked like it broke all my studs off. That's the first time we really ran outdoors in big old paddles with this car. It looked like it's doing its job. It's hooking up. I just got to do a little more beefing up on the rear end.
Now just a thought. Tony competed in the cut tires the night before, and in changing over the paddles, maybe the crew forgot to tighten the lug nuts? The two-wheel wars would continue in Lima, Ohio. Mike Hickerson in mind games knew he'd really have to get after it with the always tough Ron Pence in Tater in the lane next to him. And it's showtime in the shutdown area. Look at him rock and roll inside that roll cage as he slides to a stop. Now on the replay, Hickerson picks up the front end. Now coming in the shutout area, he burps the throttle, and that's when he provides us with an unusual view of the undercarriage of that Bucket T Roadster. Now, overshadowed in all the excitement was that Hickerson bettered the 180-foot national record with a time of 2.56. But Ron Pence bettered Hickerson's mark with a 2.55 elapsed time. Next, Henry Mattingly in Magnum Force over in the far lane, taking on Mike Yosha in Hyperactive. But it's Mattingly who gets a little jumpy. The race appeared to be over. Mattingly clearly beaten, but it looked like Magnum Force perhaps got caught up in some ruts. It has been raining. The track is really chewed up. Now Mattingly gets off to a very slow start, and about right here at half track, he catches a rut. It pitches the nose of that Jeep off to the left, and he drives over and through the Hydra barriers. Now the driver was okay, but watch on this replay the left-hand side of your screen. As if it wasn't wet enough with the rain, Mattingly decides to take a shower. And think how bad this could have been had that wall been made of concrete. And I can tell you from past experience, it's at this time when the driver looks back at that wrecked creation and thinks, what the heck am I doing in this sport? Well, the day before, the cut tire class, George Devatek in Dirty Deeds was taking on Chad Miller. A frightening few moments for Devatek, who gets upside down in the mud, where the mud can actually get inside the cockpit, inside the helmet, but the emergency crew is there right on the spot. He is extricated from the crashed car, and he is okay. Here now is another look. It seems like the instant tee of Chad Miller is always right close to the action, but the action this time is in your right lane. With a rear-engine car, you have a balancing act to contend with, trying to keep that front end on the ground. Mid-track, the horsepower hooks up. The front end looks a little light. He veers to his left and climbs and rolls over the barriers. Now, as this wreck unfolds, look at the damage sustained by the Dirty Deeds dragster. The front end is knocked off. The wing is sheared away. Not a pretty sight. But once again, the roll cage holds it. Look at that. That's all that's left of the rack and pinion steering. But again, the driver walked away uninjured. He's with Army.
George, it looked like a violent accident. Are you okay?
Actually, in the car is very calm. The cage is real tight and it can bounce around.
EMT's right on the spot, a good chassis. You knew it was kind of a dangerous sport going in, but everybody's doing everything they can to make it as safe as possible. I'm glad you're okay. Do you have any idea what caused the accident?
The man on the line said the steering let go as soon as the wheels picked up. He said there was no steering, and I think he's right because it went to the barricades and there's no steering.
What do you think of these safety barricades now?
I love them. I love them barricades. Yeah. Thank you.
I love them barricades. That's the sentiment shared by many racers on the Jamboree circuit. Here now we share some more excitement from Columbus and Lima, where spring was in the air and plenty of action was on the ground.